Welcome to a more just and merciful world. I'm Kathy Humphrey, president of Carlow University. On this podcast, we talk to leaders, teachers, artists, historians, and scientists from around the globe to explore how to bring more justice and mercy in our own world. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to one of Carlow's newest members. Mike is here with us today, and he is the new director of campus ministry. Correct?
That's right.
All right. We are so glad that you have joined Carlow, and I can't wait to see what all you're going to do to enhance our experience, the spiritual experience for our students. Let's start out, Mike, with talking about why you decided to join Carlow and what's your greatest aspirations?
Well, that's a great question. I'm honored to be here. It's a delight to join this team. You know, the first two things really attracted me to Carlow is the clear identity of Carlow University as a Catholic mercy institution of higher education. And alongside of that is the compelling mission of the mercy charism.
Yeah.
I was captured by the mercy core values and the mercy critical concerns. I mean, that pioneering mission of the Sisters of Mercy to graduate students who dare to walk into the chaos of others. I mean, that's a challenge. That's an invitation. And it's inspiring. And I think this is precisely what a lot of Gen Z prospective students are looking for in higher education. They're concerned about more than making a living. They want to make a life. And I'm seeing that this is, Carlow is all about this. So, I mean, educational excellence, economic mobility, personal and community wholeness. That with a special concern for first generation and non-traditional students. I'm a first generation college student, and that opportunity changed the course of my life. Yeah. So all these factors attract me to Carlow University, and I'm excited to join this team and contribute to the Carlow mission to prepare graduates who are ethical leaders, career ready to impact the world for a more just and merciful world.
Yeah, I mean, you've only been here for a few weeks, and boy, do you have down what our aim and what we're trying to accomplish here. And so I'm thrilled to hear those words coming back from you so naturally and so easy, because it's the work that we are called to do here, and it is amazing work. You say that you are first generational, and many of our students, as a matter of fact, over 40% of our students are first generation students. And talk to me a little bit about what did that mean for you as a student? Did you go to a Catholic university?
I went to Penn State.
Oh, yeah. Not a Catholic university. Nope. Okay.
Yep, a big state school, but I started at one of their branch campuses, and that was easy entry way, and that started the whole ball rolling.
Well, how did you get to campus ministry?
Well, that was a long road. And after graduating from university, I went to Japan as a missionary, and I was doing that for a number of years and decided to go to seminary. And during seminary, I felt called to the campus. I wanted to be involved in Christian higher education. And that's what I did for many years in Japan. Professor of religious studies, campus minister, and many other activities on campus. And so that's kind of the pathway. There's lots of twists and turns in there.
Yes.
But that's how I ended up in that area of work.
How did you know that you should go to seminary?
Well, it was that sense of calling. I want to go deeper. I want to give myself fully into God's will. The refrain that has echoed through my career has been, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Wherever you want to send me, then I'm going to go there because I know that's where you want me. And that's how this feels also, coming to Carlow. This is a new beginning. Yeah. And I sense that this is something I want you to join and contribute to. And so that's why I'm here.
That's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. So you get this calling You go to seminary, you get a deeper understanding of God's word,
Yeah.
and then you go to Japan.
Yeah.
How in the world did you get to Japan?
Well, this is another, being kind of woken up in the middle of the night, hearing a voice type of experience. I got to the end of my college education, and I was searching for what do I want to do with my life. I'd studied computer science. Oh, I could get a job. But I felt this sense of pull to connect with the world out there somewhere. I think it was partly the International Christian Fellowship on the campus that pulled me in that direction or opened my eyes to God's activity all around the world. Hearing testimonies from people from India, from Korea, from Peru, from all over the place, and wanting to connect myself, be connected with that. And so I sought out opportunities, and skipping over a lot of details, the opportunity that materialized was to go to Japan.
Now, when you say you were woken up at night, did you hear Mike Sherrill, you must go to Japan? Did you hear that?
Not quite like
Oh, not quite.
Not quite
Okay.
like that.
All right.
Not an audible voice, but a very clear sense of this is where I want you to go. And then that was affirmed during that very first summer
Okay.
in Japan as I journaled in the morning. And I still have that journal entry that I could go back to saying, wait a minute, you're going to be here not just this summer. You're going to be here a while. And so that ended up being over 25 years.
Wow.
I wouldn't have known it at the time.
Right. Right. So
yeah.
I think this is really important because not only our students, but people in general, as we think about creating a more just and merciful world, this notion of how do you find inner peace?
Yeah.
I think it's coupled with also if you have the opportunity to answer the call on your own life. And you just said, Mike, that once you got to Japan, that calling was confirmed. You knew it was. How did you know that?
It's a deep sense of peace that comes when you really sense that you're in alignment with what God is asking you to do. And you get ready you're prepared for that. I mean, I was prepared for that kind of moment by praying and seeking God's voice, seeking the divine presence in ways that I didn't really cognitively process, just more in a non-cognitive way, in a spiritual sense. And so letting go of the rationalization of it and just receiving the gift. And I'm really grateful for it now, because if I had overthought it, maybe I wouldn't have done it. I thought, well, no, I have to do this or do that or apply or whatever. And but no, it was an inner sense. I want you to stay here. And so I looked for a job, and I took it as a sign. Well, if I find a job, because the summer mission would end, I need a job to stay here and make a living.
Right.
Well, you know something about computers, so why don't you apply for a job? And something came together, and that was the next step.
Okay.
And I stayed in Japan, and then another step, and then another step. And I met my wife, and we got married, and that was another step. And yeah, so it's been quite a journey.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
And so while you were there, talk to us a little bit about the jobs you found.
Well, at the very beginning, I was working for a computer company and living in a tiny little apartment in Yokohama. And it was my first time, this country boy from Pennsylvania, first time living in a big city, first time living on my own.
Wow.
In a foreign country. I could speak no Japanese at the time. Probably one of the loneliest times in my life. But it was that kind of time that drew me closer and closer into fellowship with Jesus and communing closely because I needed that companionship so much. So that was a challenging job, and I saw the life of the Japanese salaryman, what it's really like. and it can be very demanding. And so I saw that side of the life that many of them have to live. And I moved on to full-time church ministry. And then came back for a while to go to seminary and went back as an educator and a campus minister and an evangelist and moved all over Japan, my wife and I. So, yeah.
So you had to do some scary things.
Yeah.
You had to go to a country, you didn't speak the language,
Right.
but you persevered anyway.
Yeah.
You made a decision that even though you didn't know everything,
Right.
you could still manage it. How did you get to that? How did you get to, this is scary, I'm alone,
Yep.
I can't communicate effectively,
Yeah.
but I'm going to do it? What allows someone to do that?
What allowed me to do that is a spirit of surrender into God's hands. That sounds, maybe it sounds eloquent or something, but it's really is just a letting go. And you know, it's better at some times than other times. There were those moments when, you know, did I make the right decision here?
Right.
This is really hard.
Right.
And then reminding myself, you're in God's hands.
Yeah.
And this is what you desire, to be useful, to be in God's will. And until God says something else, you're going to be okay. So let's stick with this to see where it goes. It's a kind of an adventurous life to live. Not worried about building my career, building my resume necessarily, not worried about advancing my savings or whatever, really letting go of it. And as a single person, it wasn't as hard as it was as a married person.
Right.
And as after having children.
Right.
Then that was a lot more to think about.
Right. Right. Okay, so you're there, you do this, you're there for 25 years, and then Carlow calls. And you decide to answer that call.
Yeah.
And you talked a little bit already about why.
Yeah.
Because of our mission, because of what we're committed to doing.
Yeah.
Because of our desire to provide opportunities for students to become agents of change and ethical leaders.
Yes.
How will you help us get that done?
Well, this is a tremendous opportunity to be involved in this kind of mission, to prepare young people, to create opportunities for them to have a pathway that maybe they couldn't have dreamed of, and to connect, for me, in this particular role, to connect that to spiritual formation, spiritual nourishment, those deeper questions of why am I here? Where did I come from? Where am I going? The questions of ultimate reality. I recall having those sorts of questions when I was in college.
Absolutely.
And there were people around, people in campus ministry, ministers and volunteers and peers, who engaged those kinds of subjects with me. I don't know where exactly I'd be if those individuals hadn't stepped in at those particular times.
Yeah.
So that is sacred space, to have those kinds of moments with students. And it's an honor and a privilege to be in it.
Right. So, you know, we take the whole of every student, wherever they are.
Yeah.
We take them. You know, all of our students are not Catholic. All of our students are not Christian. We are a Catholic institution, and we have the values of the Sisters of Mercy.
Yes.
But we take the whole of everyone, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, we're getting ready to do a vocation retreat to look at those two very important questions. Who am I?
Yes.
And what am I to do with who I am? Two questions that I think causes a lot of chaos in people's lives because they can't seem to get to that. What am I supposed to do? Right?
Yeah.
And as we get ready to take our first cohort of students on that journey to look at those two questions of who am I? And what am I supposed to do with who I am? What do you hope they walk out of that retreat with?
Well, I hope that they walk out with a sense of openness to receive what may come. That not to overthink it, but to open their minds to possibilities that aren't on any sort of script.
Right.
There's nothing already laid out, but there is something unique for them, a pathway waiting for them. There is a divine presence that is concerned about each of them. So for some of them, that may be part of it, part of the opening. Everyone's coming from a different place.
That's right.
In terms of that type of spiritual formation. But this is also about personal formation. And I would hope that everything they experience at Carlow opens them to receiving the gift that is out there for them and the gift that they'll become as they embrace that.
That's so good. The gift that they'll become. I love that, that whole thought of, our work causes us to be the gift to the next person.
Yes.
And our ability to provide others opportunities because of the gifts we've given. Often I say, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yep.
And I do believe that once you understand what you've been given, you're able to give to other people. So I'm really pleased to hear that that's your aim as we begin to formulate our ideas around that as well. So I noticed that you at Maths this week with the students, you got to play the chimes as we marched around for Palm Sunday.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what you think about our students, and you're joining the choir, and we're glad to have you in that as well. So you've really got engaged. So tell me your thoughts. What's your opinion of who they are and what they're trying to accomplish?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm impressed by these wonderful young people. They're taking steps of courage and bravery. It's not easy what they're engaging. They're in a swirl of change all around them, personally, in terms of society and nation and everything. And they've got to carry an awful lot, and I'm impressed by that. And they ask questions. And I'm always keeping an ear out for what I can learn too.
Oh, yeah.
From their questions. That's one of the wonderful things about being in higher education. You're always discovering something new. So I see an environment with these students of mutual discovery. So I've been down the road a little ways since I have things to share and life lessons and that sort of thing too. But I enter into that space with the students with the goal of being humble, with a spirit of humility, because I need their help with social media devices and phones and things like that, of course, because they've got that. That is their world.
Right.
And it's very good for me or for us to need their help, to receive their hospitality. We have things we want to extend, and we want to be a help and a teacher, and that's wonderful and good and important. But also, it's uplifting for these young people to know that they've got something to give that's of value. And in fact, right now, right here and now, they are valuable as they are, who they are, where they are. I think that realization is very empowering. And so that's something that it's my aim to communicate that, to embody that. Now here in the first couple of weeks, just by hanging out. With students, go to the choir, we're in Mass. We had a lovely communion service this afternoon. A couple of students came and we had communion together. That sacred space. It's just lovely to share that kind of moment together in the presence of Christ. I'm honored by that, and I want to be that presence with the students.
Okay, so I too found our students to be gracious and hospitable,
Oh, yes.
and in general, just amazing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I couldn't agree with you more. So we talk about creating students who are committed to creating justice
Yeah.
and mercy. And in a day like today, this is really crucial.
Yes.
So talk to me about your theory of creating justice and mercy.
Well, everyone here understands that the pool of prospective students is gradually shrinking, that trend is expected to accelerate. And among this pool, many prospective students are looking for low-cost degree options closer to home. Some are questioning the value of higher education even. And at the same time, we have things like Google Career Certificates competing for some of these students. But the good news, I believe, is that many of these Gen Z prospective students are looking for an education for mind, body, and spirit. An education that gives them well-being and capacity to flourish in this world. And so a university that knows its identity very well and actualizes it like Carlow will attract students. I believe, especially right now, that Catholic universities have an edge. To thrive over the next 10 years, it is essential for Catholic universities to energetically engage their distinctives, namely Catholic intellectual tradition and Catholic social teaching. The Catholic intellectual tradition is basically a mutually illuminating partnership of faith and reason, divine revelation and human scholarship. And Catholic social teaching affirms the dignity and worth of every human being on this planet.
Yes.
And it pursues solidarity with the poor and the marginalized. So a Catholic university like Carlow that is animating these distinctives is uniquely positioned to fruitfully engage with this generation because those distinctives are in demand and will continue to be in demand. And so what I see, this is part of the exciting thing about being part of Carlow now, the outcome for Carlow University is it gains a reputation for excellence in preparing graduates to impact the world for the common good, making a good living, and a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. I know that many of our alumni have had that experience and are living that out today. And I think that's a part of my legacy here is that is work that Catherine Macaulay began.
Amen. Yeah.
And it is work that we continue to do to this very day. And I'm so thrilled to be a part of that kind of work that really is asking the student to not only look at who they are, but look at the impact that they're going to make on a greater world, that their care and concern for their fellow man is rich and good and kind, and that empathy is not a bad word, but a very good word that causes us to do for others and to commune with others and to lift up others as well. But I am so glad that you're a part of the Carlow family, and I hope you love your time here with us. But here's what I'm confident of. I'm confident that you're going to make a difference, and I'm confident that the students' lives that you touch will be really illuminated by the words and the wisdom that you share. Thanks for being with me today.
Thank you so much. Honored to be here. Thanks so much.